Hello, everyone. It is the podcast, the Redmen podcast, no less. It is an international break, but we are here for you. And we will be next week as well, and every week, because we just love talking Liverpool Football Club. One man, especially, it is the man, the legend. It is Mr. James Sutton. Welcome back.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me back.
You good? Good to see you.
It's nice to see you both. It's nice to be in a Chris and Paul sandwich.
Lovely. You're not the first, and you won't be the last.
doesn't make me feel very special, does it? Chris?
Well, no, but you're the best villain we've had.
Oh, mate, I love that. That's my new Twitter bio right there, isn't it?
the best
filling you've ever had.
Like a review, 5 stars. Best filling we've ever had. Yeah, right. Sound. We're going to talk about a whole host of things. But first and foremost, we've got a kick-off question, but I want to come to it in a minute. Does anyone else in the comments and Chris Pajak feel that James should be throwing his hat into the ring for the new James Bond?
Oh, don't say this.
Because Daniel Craig, I think you and Craig have got a similar sort of look. You've got I think if you go a little bit more, you could certainly have that Casino Royale bill. But you're on the way. You're well on the way there because you have henched up significantly.
Thank you very much.
Throughout COVID.
It's between him and Idris Elba for me.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah. Elba's a bit old.
Look, this is me officially throwing my hat in the ring. You sound a bit like my mum when you say that, because my mum's always like, "Why don't you go up for that? Like, why don't they're looking for a Bond? Why don't you?" It's like, I'm not just going to fucking ring them, am I? Be like,
my mum said I could do this.
I'm sure. I'm sure there's a long list, but is there any chance? You know.
Well, that because we've known James a long time, and we had this conversation around Doctor Who about 10 years ago as well, that I felt you should be putting your hat into the ring for Doctor Who.
The one that got away.
Yeah. But again, Hollywood and British TV, you're missing out. The answer's right
here,
there.
Guys. I'm right here.
Tom Hiddleston. Idris Elba, whatever. Henry Cavill, whatever. Whatever. What are they bringing to the table that you're not getting from James Sutton? That's what I want to know.
And I'll do it for like a quarter of the price as well.
Probably significantly less.
My rate.
You'll do it for less than that.
I'm dirt fucking cheap. I'll do it for a sandwich and a cup of coffee.
I mean, he's not even getting that to beer.
I'm getting a cup of coffee.
Getting a cup of coffee. Right, Sal. Yeah, thank you so much for everyone for joining us. We are live streaming the podcast as always, so you can interact with us if you've got any questions, thoughts, feelings in the live chat on YouTube, and of course for our club legends over on the redmentv.com in our Discord server as well. Obviously what we've got is the redmentv.com is the website. It's home of everything we do, so everything now streams live directly on there. So if you're ever wondering where our shows are, just go on there and they'll be there. The kick-off question this week comes from a lifelong Indian Red. I won't even begin to butcher the name. I'm doing it right now. Shaub Khan, 1992. I reckon I've nailed that.
Just be Irish and Siobhan.
Yeah, it's probably that's got a very. It could be Indian. It could be Gaelic. There's no way I know it.
There's nowhere near enough B's in there for it to be Siobhan.
Yeah.
You got 6 B's.
Yeah. Would you rather a team of 11 Mo Salahs or 11 James Milners? Chris Pajak.
I like exciting football. I'm going 11 Mo Salahs. We'll win every game. What would you say? If one of him scores 1 a game, 11 of him scores 11 a game. So we'll win every game 11-8 because he's a good defender too.
Yeah, I'm at this point now where I think if you'd asked me this question 2 years ago, I'd have been all over 11 James Milners, because he plays in every position.
I still am.
Oh wow!
I'm all about 11 James Milners. I just want a really violent game of football. I just want to see what happened when 11 great big lumps of Yorkshire rock collide with each other. Yeah. Like some sort of Marvel battle or something. It'd be horrendous. There'd be blood and sweat and piss everywhere.
But I like the idea of you can pluck like 11 Milners from the timeline, and you get 11 completely different James Milners at different stages.
Teenage Leeds United James Milner,
tricky winger,
exactly. With all his pace, flying winger, play both sides. Then you're getting like the midfield maestro Milner from the 17-18 season, one that broke the assist record in the Champions League. You're getting him in there. You get left back, full season 16-17, full season left back James Milner in there. Maybe even this season as your right back Milner. He's done a decent job so far in there.
He bloody won the league with City as a super sub as well. Yeah. So maybe he could do that.
12 Milners.
I think 11 James Milners beats 11 Mo Salahs.
Come on now.
I'm putting it out there. I do.
Come on now.
I do. Four Mo Salahs at the back or four James Milners at the back? Who's scoring more?
You've got to get past the Mo Salah press, though, to get to the back.
It's a bet. It's a bet. This is hot. Like I can't determine this. I want to know from people watching at home.
And he'd have no problem playing assists.
Yeah,
because he get the goal.
That's true.
Does Milner have the goals in him to win that game
That's
of
the
football?
thing, isn't it? You
He's
look
got
at
the penalties in him. That's those Mo Salah.
But is Milner... okay. Well, here's a question there. Milner, better or worse penalty taker than Mohamed Salah? What, on three? 1, 2, 3. Better. Yeah, he's better. Yeah, sounds. Can I have the monitor, please, Shay? Yeah.
Worse.
You think he's a worse penalty taker?
Yeah, because in my head, Milner's the better one, and I always go the opposite of what my head says in this instance, because Mo Salah's really good at penalties.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, sounds. Okay, that's all right. Whatever.
An insight into Pajak's mind.
Let us know who wins in an 11v11 game of football. 11 Mo Salahs. But this is to the point. If we're taking the plucking from the time stream, so you've got to have one from 11 different years. Because I'd have 11 of this Mo Salah. 11 of this season's Mo Salah, and maybe, you could maybe go a couple of years back.
You're not having a Chelsea Mo Salah, though, are you?
No, it'd just be a bit sad, wouldn't he? Just a bit like...
Just look a bit fed up.
Come on. So that you've probably given up 2 Salahs, good Salahs to cheer him up.
No,
Come on.
you can put your arm around older Mo Salah, this season Mo Salah, and go, you have to go through this to become me.
Yeah.
So just wallow all you want. Just know that you are going to be like a beautiful butterfly in a few years' time.
You're probably going to have to put the really good Mo Salahs in defence, because I'm not trusting Chelsea Salah to play at fullback or centre half, or Roma Salah maybe, or Basel Salah. But then are they got enough firepower in them to take it if you have to put them in the attacking positions?
These are hot questions.
I genuinely didn't think I was getting this much chat out of this question, to be honest. I put it in there.
And nor did anyone at home.
No. There you go. But yeah, I mean, we've got Rowan in the comments here saying 3 Mo Salahs up front equals a minimum 5 goals a game. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. He's an absolute goal machine. Double up on Bob's blood, sweat and piss everywhere. Sounds like when I stepped out of the shower this morning.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Same, mate.
Yeah, that's not great, that is it. We got Essed in our Club Legend Discord chat. He actually says, hello lads, 11 James Milners, 4 will defo be sent off. There's a lot of yellows in that James Milner side, isn't there?
At least you can trick the referee into thinking it wasn't me, it was him. What are you talking about, lads? It was him.
When 8 of the players are on their first yellow before half time, the manager's got a real headache.
Yeah. You just rotate them around though, couldn't you? Like, you rotate one
You're
into a danger position
for a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. The buck ones move further up the pitch. I think that's a good. That's the versatility there of Milner. Could well see him come out on top. But yeah, what do you think? Who comes out on top? 11 Milners or 11?
It is a
Mohamed
slight
Salahs?
concern, having watched Foden play James Milner this weekend, to think what Salah would do to him, though.
Yeah.
Foden and Grealish together. I mean, it equals 1 Mo Salah. Imagine 10 of them on Milner.
Yeah.
He's in for a ragged afternoon.
That'll be
He's got no one else to blame but himself. Then it's
Just
pushing himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, we're going to be talking. I look back at Man City. We're going to talk about the brilliance of Mohamed Salah, of course, and it was a decent way to kind of lead into that, to be perfectly honest. And what the sort of draw at City means in terms of Liverpool's title aspirations, how we're feeling around that so far, and then we're going to have a little look back at the other big game from the weekend. Everton versus United, and how good that all made us feel about life as well. Surprisingly, when 2 of the teams we probably hate most on the planet collide, it seemed to spark happiness in the Liverpool fan base, which was great. But before then, we've got a very short advert break. I sat down with Liverpool's head of goalkeeping, the man responsible for training Alisson Becker on a daily basis, to get his insight into the brilliant Brazilian and a whole host of other things more. Here's the little teaser for that before we return. Just lastly on Alisson, because I have to ask, and I'm sure it's the thing you get asked most about.
Yeah.
Last season,
Yeah.
the header.
Yeah. That was nice. Yeah.
Shoots. Yeah! Oh!
my God.
You can go on your own.
Hey, yeah, welcome back. So, yeah, we've got the matchday experience vid, which I normally do vlogs from Anfield, but I tend not to put them out when we don't win. But also, we've had this new series running for the big games where we've got loads more footage. We've got Hotel Anfield, and we've got in the ground, and we've got stuff around the ground, and obviously in the studio, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that episode is definitely worth a watch, just obviously for Salah and Moore and Mane. And there's loads of footage of Pep Guardiola losing his head. It's great. That's streaming on the RedmenTV.com. And the Achterberg interview is coming out this weekend as well. So if you want to get signed up for that, that's just amazing. Just so much insight, particularly if you're a bit of a goalkeeping fanatic like I am. But yeah, there's a great story about how Liverpool scouted Alisson, how he ended up joining Liverpool. Brilliant stuff. But yeah, the Salah stuff leads us quite nicely in, James. Looking back on Man City at the weekend, I'm so pleased that people are still banging on about that Salah goal, because I had a real fear about it, because it was so Tottenham Hotspur. Like, Tottenham at Anfield a couple of seasons ago scores almost that goal again, and we don't win the game, and it gets forgotten about. I'm glad that people are hailing it for the absolute marvel that it was.
Yeah, and rightly so as well. You know, well, it's been said probably to death by now, but Mo Salah's the best footballer on the planet right now. You can stop the dialogue, you can stop your internal debate. There is absolutely no question, because the context surrounding the goal is what elevates it to another level. You know, we've seen incredible goals scored in the past in games and fixtures that don't mean quite as much, but to stand on the biggest stage in world football right now, this is the biggest game in club.
The two best teams
in the world in the last 4 years. You know, over any club football. You know, I think historically in the Premier League you had the Manchester United and Arsenal period, and then they were battling it out, and that's the closest thing I think we've got to the Man City Liverpool rivalry. Is it's the immovable force, and what's the other one?
The irresistible force meets the immovable object.
Thank you very much. It's that, and to score a goal of that class and that style against some world class defenders and make them look like mugs is the lad's unbelievable. And in the last 24 hours there's been even more talk about this about this contract situation, and it came out Liverpool are not unwilling but are concerned about offering a new deal to a player that's going to be 31 years of age when his current one expires. I mean, look at him. This fella's going to be banging in goals till he's 35. There's absolutely no question. He's still getting 16, 20 goals when he's 34, 35, and that just proves it. To do it on the biggest stage, like I say, he wants to win this league. He said it on his Instagram after the game, how much he wants to win this league, and we're all behind him. He's just unbelievable, isn't he?
The mad thing is, like, the contract thing for me is nuts, isn't it? Because I think as a forward that I've sort of experienced watching them forwards, they go up to their prime, they stay at the prime for a bit, and then it comes down. I don't think we've seen him at his prime, or we're just seeing him at his prime now.
This is it,
which
right
means
now.
You're going to get 1, 2, 3 seasons like this, hopefully, which would be incredible if you were able to do that. I can't believe that there are any doubts about this man at the moment, about contracts and stuff like that, because there just shouldn't be. You need to give your head a wobble if you've got a doubt about Mo Salah and his ability right now and what he's going to be like in a few years' time. He's fitter than anyone. He's never drunk in his life. He's of that age that's come up with sports science and used that to his advantage. We're seeing players extend their careers. Cristiano Ronaldo, Ibrahimovic is like 40 years old. Lionel Messi's still doing it at the top of the game. He is sort of half a generation behind them, so he's probably going to even extend longer than those guys, I would say. And the way that he's now, his all-round game has come on, not just his finishing, not just getting in and getting goals, it's his all-round game. I mean, look at the Mane one. He wins the ball back. He wins the ball back. He
makes it so easy. He makes it so easy for Mane as well. He makes it so easy for him with his movement. His ability to think 2, 3 you know, we've talked about this in the past about thinking 2 or 3 passes ahead and thinking, you know, and having that kind of foresight and that mental ability as much as the physical. He's just a complete footballer right now, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's looking at using his right boot as well. And if he can do what he did for that goal again, I mean, it's so obvious that he wants to cut inside on his left. So now all of a sudden you've got him knowing that, defenders knowing that. And that's why Aymeric Laporte's just absolutely nowhere, because everyone thinks he's going inside and he's going to use his left foot. Well, that's as tight an angle as... Was there a goal in the Champions League that he scored a few years ago from a ridiculously tight angle? But I don't think the goalkeeper was there for that one. That's hard to finish. That's just incredible. And does it hit the post and the side netting as it goes in? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. You couldn't have placed it any better with your hands.
It was something else. Absolutely something else. And the point, it was kind of following from you were saying, James, is look at who we're playing. Like, it's one thing when you slalom around teams that you go, let's be honest, even at our best days, we're going, come on, we're miles better than these. We saw it on the pitch, and that was what was most telling for me. That there's nothing between Liverpool and Manchester City. No. There's two teams at the absolute peak of their powers. You know each other inside and out. You know, with that battle so well trodden, it's so well rehearsed. You know, it's trying to get little one-ups here and there. And Mo Salah's just gone and almost done that on his own. If we win that game, that's like or if you do that in a final, it's the Mo Salah final. That's what it gets remembered for, you know, because he's the guy who's taking it, and that's how big that game was. And again, you know, you're talking about, I thought like a number of players had a great, I thought Bernardo Silva looked unbelievable for them.
What a player.
And we had similar sort of problems with him. He clearly has a bit of that in his locker as well, but not with the level of end product. I mean, both of the goals are out of this world, but that one is to the point. Actually, I wanted to make a point because I looked at like who else is the best in the world right now. I got Robert Lewandowski's stats up because I haven't paid attention this season. Yeah, he's got 13 goals in 10 games so far this season, which is a good start. I think most of us would probably. He
might have come out the blocks a little fast.
Yeah, just the one assist though, you know. So he's obviously not got the all-round game there. But this is where we're at now, Chris. You made the point. Messi and Ronaldo still, you know, ticking along quite nicely, but the days of them being at Barcelona and Real Madrid, where they're in the, you know, they're competing for titles and they're at the top, they're at the absolute top of the game. Neither of them are quite there anymore. Although you wouldn't be shocked for them to still get a good goal return this year. I don't know if it was you or someone made the point about like it's a bit like Salah might end up a bit like Prince Charles, where he doesn't get a 40-year reign. But he's probably going to have 3 or 4 years now where he could be the best player on the planet until Mbappe and Haaland have got a good body of work there and they're entering the prime, and we know for certain that they are the absolute worldies in the game. But he's there, isn't he? He looks most primed to be that, to carry that mantle as the best player.
He's carried it for the nation anyway for a long time, hasn't he? But now he's carrying it for probably the shining light in the Premier League as well. And that, for me, it's not just his goal return anymore. That's part of the package. It's a massive part of the package, don't get me wrong. But what we're seeing from his all-round game is better than I've ever seen from him. You know, I would always argue that he does track back, and he always has tracked back, but not with the ferocity that he's been tracking back this season. Not the way that... you know, there are players who drag you through games. Mo Salah's that player now. And I don't know whether he was ever that guy who was going to drag us to a title in the same way that, you know, players in the past, Steven Gerrard, the perfect example, dragged us to results. Salah's going to do that now for a couple of years, I feel, and there's just no one out there who can stop him. You know, that's the best defence in the league going into this game, and he's tore them apart twice. Like, you know, they only conceded 1 before this game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And he's basically tore them a new arsehole, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, and that's it. He was. I've seen people saying about in the comments about, like, you know, it's a team game, you got 11 players and all that, and Liverpool have, and that's why it makes the contract stuff so interesting, is that we've built this team up and it's all come up together and it's all about the component parts and getting more than the sum of your parts, that kind of thing. But on top of that, Salah is like shone above and beyond. Like in a team where everyone's flat out and we've got a team filled with world class players, he seems to. I mean, and maybe that's how it happens, because we've had lots of world class footballers over the years, but we've never had the best player in the world. We've had Luis Suarez, I think, was about the closest.
We've had the best midfielder in the world for the time of Steven Gerrard,
exactly.
But not you would state midfielder,
because
you didn't have the courage of your convictions to say player.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because you look at who's around in that generation, and Gerrard was still in the Zidane generation around that time, and the Ronaldinho one, and what have you, and then obviously Cristiano Ronaldo comes up throughout that period, and Messi, of course. But yeah, we've never had that before, and maybe that's like the fertile soil in which you grow a genuine best in the world, because we've never had this many brilliant talent,
brilliant players.
But also what it offers going forward is, for players like Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones as well, coming forward and being able to learn from someone like that every week in training, and growing and having that support on the pitch, and having that, like you say, that kind of beacon of sort of that's what I'm going to aim for, that's what I can achieve if I work really, really, really hard. And it's probably worth mentioning as well, this Liverpool team this season, we haven't hit our stride yet. We're not playing as well as we have done. We're simply not. We know this team's capable of more than that. But Mohamed Salah doesn't give a shit if we're playing to our best. He's going to do it himself, if nothing else. And that is, you can't buy that kind of talent, but it costs you a lot of money. But you need to reward that kind of talent. And I can't believe for a second that there's a world where Jurgen Klopp hasn't already recommended to the board on numerous occasions that they break their wage structure and give him whatever he wants, because I can't. If you let that player go, I was gutted when we lost Luis Suarez. I was really gutted about that, because I knew that he'd go on to Barcelona and score a shitload of goals, and
went on and made Barcelona better.
He went and then he goes on to Atletico and makes them even better and bangs in loads of goals for them. If you lose him, you're losing you're losing a legacy. You're losing. We haven't had a world. Steven Gerrard's the last world class legacy player who's been there for his whole career, or the best years of his career. And there's and we sing his song, and he's got flags, and he's still the most one of the most decorated, highly thought of players. Mohamed Salah can achieve that here, but he just needs to be rewarded, and soon.
I can't imagine that anybody, and I'm not suggesting this is the case, by the way, but there's no one in the Liverpool squad who doesn't think he deserves more money than them.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So it's not about breaking your wage structure for Mo Salah, it's about breaking your wage structure.
Period.
And that's the thing that they need to sort out.
This is why you've got a free hit almost free. Mo Salah has earned the free hit in this regard, from the PR perspective, because normally you enter a world where you go, well, if we're going to pay someone else, what does that do to everyone else?
Doesn't matter.
Exactly. But this is the point. I actually don't think he's the exception that it doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't matter to them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree. I think there's situations where, like, if you brought someone in, you might go, I know he's a brilliant player, but it's like, well, I've been in, I've put all the hard yards in. Well, no, Salah's been there with you, and he's been in the trenches with you this whole time. But look at what he's doing, and look at the level he's playing at. He's not a flat track bullet. He's doing it in the biggest games, on the biggest stages, and he's winning football matches individually for you and bringing people in. He is proven, and that's why, I think that if you're gonna give it to him, and I wonder, we speculated a couple of weeks ago whether someone's gone, if you want more money, you need to prove that you're worth more money. Well, he's just gone out so far this season and proven that. Now, I think I did think it was that, and someone said it might be Cristiano Ronaldo coming to the league, and I think that's a contributing factor. What we found out really, though, this week was that it was because he got a one less rating on FIFA, and Liverpool had to cut his reaction out of the FIFA video on YouTube, which then found its way online, and he was very upset.
I haven't seen
mate.
Yeah.
It's
is he
amazing. He basically
is he
says,
genuinely angry?
what do I need to do to get a higher rating? Score less goals, because that's what I did the season before when I had a higher rating. I scored less goals and got a higher. He was fucking. It is like, ha, I'm laughing, but I'm fuming at the same time. Yeah, but he's out there improving, and I agree. Cause, I mean, we got Jen LFC here with a super chat saying pay him the money. Fact. If you're gonna break your wage structure, James, do it for your best player.
Yeah, do it for your best player. Time down for the best years of his career. Like Chris alluded to at the beginning of the show. I think he really is only just hit his prime now. I think the next couple of years he's going to be getting 25, 30 goals a season before we talk about the Champions League. He's a player he's now experienced enough. He's a little bit older, which I think is a good thing. And you can manage his work rate and his and also the position he plays going forward as well. He's one of those players that I think when he is 33, 34, drops back a little bit. You get someone else. You get Mbappe in front of him in a couple of years' time.
Well, the point is when he reaches a point in his career when he can't do all the physical stuff, that's when you move him on.
Yeah,
because to your point earlier, Chris, we've seen these world class players rise and fall at Liverpool, but even the best ones, Torres is a great example. Torres, we burned him out big time.
But Torres was injury led though, wasn't it?
Yes, but that's my point. We gotten the best out of Fernando Torres when we got rid of him. It was quite clear on that, and obviously Gerrard stayed almost to the end of his career, but we got all the best days out of Steven Gerrard. Suarez, we didn't, and that was a stupid move. We've never really kept. Do you know what I mean? Now is not the time to let Mohamed Salah leave Liverpool unless you've got a major win lined up and you've got a phenomenal next step of your plan, and that could only be you going out to pick one of the next,
which is breaking your wage budget anyway.
Exactly,
and it's pointless if the whole cycle is just gonna repeat itself again. What are we saying to players that want to come and play for Liverpool? What does that say to the wider world? What does that say to clubs like Barcelona and PSG if they want to come knocking? Or Liverpool are a selling club. Liverpool are still a selling club, which has to change and has to be bullshit. We have to be a destination now. The trophies that we've won in recent years, the football that we're playing, the fact that we're in a conversation even with, and a lot of this is down to Jurgen Klopp, but the fact that we're in a conversation with Manchester City and we're the only team in the Premier League that has managed to piss on Pep's chips in recent years, that speaks volumes. But you have to build that, and you have to have the ambition behind it to take that to the next level. Otherwise, what the fuck are we in it for? Yeah. Because when Jurgen Klopp leaves, which will, he's not going to stay here forever. We're very lucky to have him. But when he leaves, you've got to be already planning for that. You've got to be planning for, which superstars do we need to be part of that next wave that's going to be coming through? When you've got your Curtis Jones, when you've got your Harvey Elliott's and players like the Reece Williamses, and they're leading the line, you've got to have your world class players around.
Let the best player in the world lead
absolutely,
a football club.
You absolutely do not. And his injury record as well. We mentioned it before. The fella doesn't get fucking injured. He's made of, he's an incredible athlete, and I've run out of expletives.
Plot twist: Salah's not signing a new contract until Jurgen does. That's what we're waiting on. Yeah. I need you to extend for the same 5 years.
That's a great day on Liverpool Twitter, isn't it? That's a great day.
We've got.
Listen to some of the names that are paid more than him, by the way, in the Premier League. Okay,
David De Gea,
Thomas Partey is on the same money as him. Anthony Martial, 50 grand a week more. Cavani, 50 grand a week more. Stones, 50 grand a week more. Aubameyang, 50 grand a week more. Werner, 72,000 a week more. Pogba, 90,000 more. Kante, 90,000 more. Sterling, 100 grand more. Grealish, 100 grand more. Lukaku, 125. Varane, 140. Sancho, 150 grand more. Kevin De Bruyne, double what Salah's on. And then Cristiano Ronaldo, I can't do the maths, but he's £310,000 more per week.
And that's the thing about Salah, is that...
And none of them are fit to lace his boots. None of them.
We're not paying him $500,000 a week. So that was the rumours at the start of the summer. Liverpool are not going to pay him that amount of money. They're just not. And it's silly. No one should be earning that kind of money. But the point is that you're going to get Salah for a steal no matter what. Because if you can get him to agree terms, it's going to be... It might be... It's going to be more than he's
300, I reckon.
It's got to be somewhere between 300 and 350.
And either way, he's still going to be... And this remains my point with Salah. Have him for a couple more years. And then, look, PSG are not going anywhere. PSG are not going to conquer everything. Because Mbappe wants to leave. And Neymar is, Neymar's class, of course. But how much... He's been there. He's not elevated them to anything more than what they've been in that time. You get a couple more years out of Messi, sound. PSG might win a Champions League, but... Cool. They're always going to have that money, and they're always going to be in the chain, and they're paying stupid money, and there's going to be, they will be there. they're your escape route for Mohamed Salah at some point. If you decide you've had enough, or you feel like you've got I mean, again, the Messi thing, it's insane. Like, it's insane what they're paying him. When you think about it, like, pay him that 5 years ago, and it's like a no-brainer, because you are getting the absolute best player who's ever lived, with years and years and years to go. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't do it. And the good thing is, I mean, there was obviously that article that came out recently, but all the vibes seem to be that this is going to get sorted, and it should do. And I can't imagine why.
Salah's not giving anyone a choice. He's not giving anyone a choice in the matter. Not with his form.
No.
You can't keep hold of Liverpool Football Club and not give him a new contract.
Yeah. Welcome aboard, Nandan, who's joined us as a first team member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for getting involved and all that stuff. Yeah, good stuff indeed. We haven't really talked too much about the Man City game there. We've just waxed lyrical about Mo, which is great. Have you seen a better goal live in the flesh?
It's a tough one, you know. There are goals where...
Places I remember.
Look, it's hard to compare, isn't it? It's like comparing two children and someone asking you which one is your favourite.
But you've got a favourite child?
No, not really. I know you have, but I won't say that.
Everyone's got a favourite child.
I think for me, like, I've always kind of preferred the team goals. So, Hoffenheim in that Champions League playoff with Emre Can on the end of it, for me, is like absolutely amazing. I mean, you've got corner taken quickly. I mean, you know, what have you ever seen a goal like it before? No. So does that stand out because of it? Yes. You can add this one to the list, certainly. You can add Mane's one over in Bayern Munich to the list of goals that I've seen live that have gone, what? Because that shit doesn't happen. Mo scored 3 of them, by my count.
Yeah.
It's the favourite of the 3, because you've got Everton and you've got Tottenham, which you mentioned before, but that Everton one's a hell of a finish as well, isn't it? Like, you've got that one that he scored against, was it Chelsea? Salah, when it just rockets into the top bin, like,
that's what I was going to say.
I mean, there's so many, like, I'm not sure it's even his best goal, to be honest with you. But when you think about who it's against, and yeah, I don't know. I can't pick. If
you take the context away and you just take it on its individual merit as just a brilliant footballer scoring a brilliant goal, I don't think there are many more.
Yeah.
For beating those players and having that balance and put Laporte on his arse. I think back to some of Luis Suarez's goals, and I remember there's the Newcastle goal with the ball over the top, and
from Enrique, was it?
Fuck! I mean I was out of my seat. That was ridiculous behaviour to control that one touch around the keeper and finish. It was insane. But Salah's that goal, I think, I don't think I can think of it.
Was it Porto away where he did the juggle?
Yeah.
We had that game where he did the little juggle and stuff. I mean, that's just nuts as well.
You could do, honestly, because you could do it with Salah goals. I mean, we literally did a video where we recreated Salah's best goals and did it very, very poorly indeed. But that's to the point is that he had that many. I mean, Man City away in the Champions League. But I think, again, for what it means, that's the problem with that, is that and that's why it's been undercut ever so slightly, because if you win that game, then I don't think anyone's got any doubt, because you've also he's won a game of football with that as well. Whereas, like, away in the Etihad and dinking it over the keeper and just standing there
with his adoring
and
public.
the blue smoke going off behind him when they were trying to hit him with smoke bombs and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Just beautiful. I was in the new camp. Messi's free kick against us might be the best free kick I've ever seen, because you're not meant to be able to kick a ball like that. That defies physics and biology and probably chemistry as well, just for the full set. Like, and
the space-time continuum.
Yeah. Like, make quadratic equations fall off the planet, for no reason other than it was just unreal.
That might have sent the Earth flat.
Goal. Honestly, but that is the kind of goal where, we always go back to John Barnes' goal for England against Brazil. And you think about some of the Messi goals where he dribbles past people. There's just Maradona. There's something so beautiful about a footballer with all his opponents on strings and sending them left, right, and centre, and just like to be in the middle, a crowd of 3 Man City players. And again, this is not the FA Cup third round, you know what I mean, against a team down the rank. It's not a team that they're fighting relegation. This is the equally best team on the planet, and you've basically embarrassed 3 lads, and then you almost go and put another 2 down as well, and then put it past probably the second best goalkeeper in the world with your weaker foot at the end of it. there's goals that made me feel the same feelings on the same level as that, because ultimately it's just a goal in a big game of football. So the Salah one against Tottenham, Gini Wijnaldum's header against Barcelona, Dejan Lovren against Dortmund, Coutinho against Man City 13-14, Skrtel's header against Arsenal, and that's, all kinds. But then to go and watch it back and watch it as a piece of pure artistry, I'm still not certain how he's done a lot of it, which is it.
That touch from one foot bounce from his left foot bounces it off his right foot, and then that starts the whole forward motion. He's stupid. He's got like half the City team around him, and he's just got them on toast. Yeah, it's crazy. If that's not goal of the season, I mean, someone has pulled off something incredible.
Yeah. Well, listen. I mean, we're talking about. I've seen people in the comments here, and then saying Coutinho goal against Everton, Bjorn saying Bergkamp versus Argentina. Is Zidane's volley in the Champions League final? I'm not sure how many of these people you watched in the flesh. If you watch those goals in the flesh, then you're fine. If not, you're cheating by putting them in. But to the point,
Yeah, I didn't watch the Maradona one either.
Yeah,
just so you know.
But people have got are talking about the best goals, the commonly accepted best goals in the history of football. When we talk about
McManaman Champions League final.
Steve McManaman against Celtic in the UEFA Cup. Yeah, John Rhodes. With the super chat says, if I ever have trouble getting it up when I'm old, no need for a pill. I'll just rewatch the goal, boss. Thanks, Mo, man of the people. Yeah. It will do. That will do the job.
Hang on, love. I'm just going to put on my 100 greatest goal.
Sorry,
nearly there.
Look after yourself. Otherwise, from Yorkshire, look after yourself, love.
Nearly there. It's go time. It was a shame to see a draw. Shame we didn't go clear, but I think contextually, Chris, the fact that City went to Stamford Bridge and demolished them shows you how that game could have gone, and the fact that we're disappointed that we lost the 2-1 lead, haven't gone ahead twice.
Look, I've not really seen any of the stuff after the game or any analysis of the game or anyone talking about the game. For me, but I'm gonna guess that people are talking about that was a better result for City. Am I right in saying that?
I think the question was asked, who's it a better point for?
And most people fall down on City, maybe non-Liverpool fans, because I'm hypothesising here, but we only played well for half a game. We turned up second half. We turned up first 10 minutes and we turned up second half, and Man City were never in the lead of that game. Liverpool were. So for me, it's a better point for City because they've saved it from losing, but. We embarrassed them second half. They didn't deserve their goals. We deserved our goals.
But also, to play devil's advocate, we don't play well for a huge part of that game, and we still get a point. So you know what I mean? They're both sides of the same coin, which is, so I think it's I know it's not particularly controversial, but I think that point is perfect for both teams. I don't think anyone comes out of that any better than the other, really. Chelsea come out better.
It's a better point for them now because you play them twice in a season and you play them once at home, and you want to get the better result at your home game. Now that's all it is now. If we match that result at the Etihad minimum, then who's asked? It is whatever. Who cares? It's not a better point one way or the other. For again, as a point made, I think I saw made it on Twitter, like the Alisson save, that huge bare paw save from Foden in the first half. Like that's the kind of moment where we look back on it, in the season and go, it was a bit like Napoli in the Champions League. If we win the league by a fine margin, it might be it's that save as much as Salah's goal that ends up being a decisive moment.
And flip side, the Rodri one for them.
Yeah,
they could be talking about that.
Exactly.
I had no idea how that got stopped.
Yeah,
no idea, none whatsoever.
I think it's the speed of him coming in versus the speed of thought from Fabinho to suddenly think, "Fuck, I've got the ball and I'm 6 yards out." Shit, that moment, and that's it's small margins. Isn't it?
That's it. Look, it's a better point in so much as they'll be. I mean, again, their fans were delirious, and they would be. And again, I often find it's timing of goals, isn't it? Because if Salah scores that to make it a 2-2 draw, it's weird because we're feeling better about the point, and yet to your point, we took the they didn't take the lead in that game. We took the lead twice in that game of football.
I just think if we'd played well for 90 minutes, we'd have shot at them.
Yeah, we would have, no question. No question. We weren't at our best and they still couldn't beat us. I think that's worth pointing out. You know, that was not, like, as I said earlier on, this is, you know, we're not in our stride. This is not these lads playing their best football yet. We know it's not. We know it's not. We've seen more. We've seen us blow teams away. We've seen us not concede goals. We've seen us, you know, City come off the pitch in far worse states than we left them then, and they still couldn't beat us. So, you know, to be where we are in the league right now after the games that we've played and the teams that we've played. I mean, I know we've got Manchester United coming up. We've got Arsenal coming up as well soon. Is that right?
But we've got a tough 6 games.
We've got a tough period coming up. But if we can be there and thereabouts as the team, you know, reaches their stride, then I'm absolutely fine with where we are.
Yeah.
The one team that should be worried is Manchester United.
Oh, well, it's interesting you should say that, because we're going to have a big old chat about Manchester United in a moment, which is going to be great fun. John Rhodes has come back with the super chat just to highlight he is actually from Yorkshire too. So we've done him well there. Well done, John.
Do you say like 9 while 5? Because when I lived in Leeds, everyone says 9 while 5, and I'm like, what? You mean 9 till 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
9 while 5. Thanks. Right, there's a competition running. Our good friends at Threads, Streams and Songs, and all that. I've got a competition to win our collaborative Christmas jumper. So head to @dreams_songs for your chance to win one of the knitted Christmas jumpers in association with us. Retweet the post, follow Dreams and Songs, and comment Merry Christmas. It ends this Sunday at 12 p.m, or you can pre-order by going to bit.ly/Redmen Xmas21. It is an absolute thing of beauty. For those of you who are watching the podcast, you just have to listen to my description. It's red, it's sort of whitish, it's knitted, it's a Liverpool jumper, it's beautiful. It says "You'll never walk alone." You know, YULE, great stuff. And it's got it celebrates the famous history of Liverpool in Christmas jumper form. Now, we're known for our Christmas sweatshirts. It's been a thing for a very long time. The traditional, obviously they're great, but we've never been able to do a proper knitted one. So yeah, get a pre-order as well on there now and enter the competition if you want to try and win one. But yeah, phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal. Right, let's talk Manchester United. Chris Pajak, what were you going to say?
They haven't played anyone yet.
They haven't.
They haven't. Like, City, fair play. You know, they've gone and beat Chelsea. They've got a draw with us. We've had a draw with both Chelsea and with Manchester City. They've not played any. They should be top of the league at this point, Manchester United, and they're not. And now they've got all this stuff going on with Ronaldo. It's just glorious, isn't it?
Yep.
You got the fixtures up there?
I've got there. So here's what they played so far. No, that's back in July. August. Right there, what season? Sorry, I might have confused this ever so slightly. Leeds first game. Sorry, they've put the pre-season games on here for some reason, stupid Google. So they played Leeds United, they've played Southampton, they've played Wolves, they've played Newcastle, they've played Young Boys, they've played West Ham, they played West Ham again in the League Cup and got knocked out. They've played Aston Villa, they've played Villarreal, and they've played Everton Football Club. And to come, they have got Leicester away, Atalanta, Liverpool, Tottenham, Atalanta again, Man City, Watford, Villarreal, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Vieira's Crystal Palace in December. That's going to be a massive, massive, massive test for them.
They haven't. I do keep up with United's results. It's one of the teams that they ruined my childhood. So
yeah,
obviously I'm going to have a feigned interest in what they're doing. They haven't played well against one of those teams. There's not one of those games where they've battered someone or even come away like fucking hell. You know, United. Did you see United last night? Jesus Christ, though, not once. And the players they've got on the pitch, they've got some brilliant players, really, really great players. He is so out of his depth. It's not even funny. He hasn't.
No, it is funny.
It
is funny.
It's fucking hilarious. But
it's hilarious, but like an in joke that you kind of have a laugh with your mates because you don't want to be uproarious with your laughter at this because they have still got loads of boss players and they can clearly win in any game of football. But also, we really don't want them to know how bad it is because it's like a mate walking around with an item of clothing that's just really bad and you don't want to you don't want them to feel bad, and you don't want to. But
Well, that's bullshit, Paul, because you always call me out when I'm wearing bad stuff. So, are you telling the truth here, or are you just hypothesising?
Yeah, just
right.
create a hypothetical situation where you go in there, like, but no, not when you're already out in town. You know what I mean? Don't mention, because what are they going to do? They can't
I
go and
told
get
you I
changed.
bought a pair of trainees and you'd not even seen them and said, I can't wait to fucking rip you for them. Before you'd even seen them.
Did you rip them?
You didn't.
No, because no, I didn't.
Fair enough.
But yeah, there's no need to draw attention to this thing right now.
It's like watching a slow car crash, isn't it? It's not like it's not a huge explosion. It's just really painful that you just know that it's just horror. It's just awful. I haven't got a single Manchester United friend who is in any way, shape or form happy or satisfied with the progress that's been made. They're absolutely no closer to winning a trophy than they were 4 or 5 years ago.
They are what. Look at all the uproar around Liverpool, social media, and blah 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 over the summer. And I equate this because I think there's a lot of old school Man United fans who are raging and they're not happy and whatever. But I think there's a type of Manchester United fan, and it might be a younger generation. I don't want to overgeneralise, but there's a type of Manchester United fan that was completely bought off with Cristiano Ronaldo, Sancho, and Varane, and they can't see beyond that because all they want to see is all the best players at their football club, and they presume results will follow from that because that's how it follows. You get your ultimate team, you get your best players, and that helps you win more games and you do better. Missing the point entirely that they haven't got a game plan. They're not very well drilled. The manager is, we've had this debate before, Chris, but he's fine. You know,
he's average, yeah.
Yeah, but he's not good enough to be a Manchester United manager. But I think there's a lot of them that are just being because they're too busy doing Ronaldo celebrations, jumping up and down outside Old Trafford. They're too busy wanking themselves to death over the return of Cristiano Ronaldo, failing to notice that he's going to be the big. Him and Pogba are going to be the two biggest millstones for them this season because all the cameras are on Ronaldo, and in 6 months' time, all the paper talk is going to be around Pogba because contract's expiring. And that's all anyone's going to be talking about. And if they're not winning every game of football by that point, that is going to be an absolute shit show. And I genuinely can't wait for it. Fucking beautiful.
Same.
But did you see Andros Townsend's goal celebration, for fuck's sake? He did the Ronaldo thing, in the corner because...
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. It's this noise Ronaldo makes, by the way. That's what he does.
Are you sure you've not been watching 442s?
No, that's the noise.
Is that where it's from? It's just the noise he makes? It's not like...
It's a word, isn't it? It's like yes or something.
Yeah,
oh, is it?
Yeah, but the point is... Okay. It's, like when you do those music videos and they take all the back of music out, if you took all the stadium noise out, that's you. The fact that he's there, he's a point of ridicule and everything. It's Ronaldo FC. And it's fucking
two
brilliant.
games on the bounce as well because the goalkeeper had Ronaldo, with the penalty the week before. Yeah. Now it's Andros Townsend going up to the Man United fans and doing his fucking celebration. Poorly, I might add. Yeah. No one's mentioned that.
Even better. Yeah, I wouldn't want him to do it perfectly because it's funnier. It's funnier to do it badly.
It's well better. Yeah. And then him storming down the tunnel. Brilliant. I mean, you can't write it, can you? It's textbook.
Like the fact that he wouldn't take, like Townsend clearly go, well, good game, and he wouldn't engage with him. It just tells you that you're winning.
That's because he's going to slap him with a trademark fucking infraction.
But it tells you, doesn't it, James? It's like, every time it's not going right. If he's on the pitch, everyone's looking at his body language. If he's in the stands, it's look at his face. How is he reacting to stuff? If he's
That's not a good enough clap for Man United's goal. Yeah. You want him clapping more than that.
Yeah, it's more than that though. It's if you look at if you're a young player coming through at Manchester United and all of a sudden they brought Cristiano Ronaldo back, if you're like Reece James and players like that, you're thinking, wow, when am I going to get mine?
Reece James,
not Reece James, sorry, what's his name? Daniel James.
Yeah,
the one they just sold.
The one they just sold. You know what I mean? If you've got young players coming through, what does it say to them? I just think the whole thing's a fucking, like you say, I think it's a complete car crash. And I'm very excited to carry on watching it.
Yeah, it's just wonderful. And look, again, they'll win games, and they'll give us a hell of a game when we play them. We are in a situation where
they're due a kicking.
It's going to Old Trafford. I'm glad we I'm glad we did them there last season ultimately in that run. It definitely is going to help us when we do head there, of course. But that's going to be a massive game. Like, you know, down the line, they've got a lot of massive games coming up, and I don't know, maybe they'll be better in bigger games because teams will come at them a bit more, and that might, you know, and their big players will be able to rise to the occasions and all that. But it always feels like there's a very fine line, isn't there, Chris, between that, you know, when you get into the habit of winning games late, there's a very fine line between its title winning form and the wheels are actually coming off. It's papering over the cracks, and sometimes it's hard to determine that. And I remember us being on our rise up and being a little bit like that, not knowing whether we're just a bit crappier and we're just getting away with one, or is this sign of a deeper resilience within the squad? It could actually go one way or the other, but at the moment it feels more like that's not a sustainable way to manage a league season.
No, it comes down to the tactics and the manager, doesn't it? Because Manchester United have brilliant players and they're going to win games, and that's what they've been doing, but that doesn't last forever. You know, you can't just rely on a magical moment from one of your best players every single weekend. It doesn't happen. You know, you need more to you than that. You know, you might need to be good at set pieces or something like that. You can't just rely on Cristiano Ronaldo being in the right place at the right time every single weekend, because he's not going to be every single weekend. And you looked at that game at the weekend for Everton. Everton were closer to stealing that victory than Manchester United, and Everton side
Everton played really well.
Yeah, they did, and they played brilliantly, but it wasn't their best side. Nope. Everton's far from it, in fact.
Well, exactly.
They had fucking Rondon was here up front.
That's to the point, you know, you said this, Everton did well under very difficult circumstances in terms of personnel, and this is the point. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richard Alisson are their two best players.
Oh, you'd build a whole team around Calvert-Lewin. That's your focal point.
And they're both out. And this is the point. And it goes back to the whole transfer stuff about. And it's a Rafa, isn't it? About not getting the most expensive leg for your table, get the best fit your table. And Andros Townsend and Damari Gray cost them a handful of £1 million between the two of them. And again, they cause more problems, or as many problems as a Man United team that had. And I know Anthony Martial's, you know, not as held in as high esteem, but he's still a £40 million footballer who's been there for years, and he's got, you know, he's got a good goal. They've got Cavani there, who was, you know, in that bracket with the best centre forwards in the world prior to him joining. They've got Jadon Sancho, Ronaldo. You know, the list. Mason Greenwood is phenomenal.
But how long?
So good.
But how long does Ollie get a free pass from all the Manchester United parts of the media, from Rio Ferdinand's, from Gary Neville's? How long does it go on? Because you've just bought Jadon.
Probably the next 6 games.
Well, you bought Jadon Sancho, one of the most exciting, you know, prospects in world football, and you're playing him out of position. That's mental. You accommodate. We don't accommodate Cristiano Ronaldo. You accommodate this player who you know has got the potential to be the next Mo Salah, the next, you know, Kylian Mbappe.
And this is the thing and this has been Man United's transfer policy since Ferguson left. Is who can we get? Because they're trying to cheat the world into thinking they're still the biggest club in the country. And, you know, in so many metrics, they absolutely are, you know, in terms of revenue and you know, and probably global fan base and all those kind of things, how many people they can fit inside the stadium, those kind of things. But they're mad. They are much more like, you know, it's before our time. But the Man United prior to the Man United we know and loathe so much with that, they go and get the most expensive player, not the player the best fitted. They would always go on, you know, they get the attractive option. We go, oh wow, look who they've got, and they do a little bit, but they were never able to topple Liverpool in that. And it's like they've gone all the way back to that. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. They've got Ronaldo there, and you see that graphic. He presses least of all the Premier League forwards so far this season. Like there's like
I don't need a graphic to tell me that.
No, I know, but like everyone knew it. But it's stark when you've literally got it there, and it's like does not press. Almost like in a category at the bottom on his own.
He saves his sprints.
Great.
He saves his sprints, and he has done for about 3 years. To be fair, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's that program where the woman did only smile for attractive men. Was it Friends? In fact, was it one of them or something like that? Where it's like, no, you got to save your smiles. It was Coupling actually. Oh, yeah. It was in Coupling, wasn't it? Yeah, so that's kind of what Ronaldo does, isn't it?
yeah. She's worried about like frown lines.
Yeah, you have so many smiles, and it produces the wrinkles. So she only smiles for attractive men. men.
Yeah.
That's Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Saves his sprints for when he's going on goal.
Yeah. It is. It's dead funny. As I say, if you plug
And his celebration.
Yeah, if you plugged Dominic Calvert-Lewin into that Everton side, I think they win that game. If you put Richarlison in that side, they probably win that game.
I think if Tom Davies doesn't shit the bed, they win that game.
If Tom Davies just shoot, Tom, just shoot. Idiot.
Madness. But then, like, there are parts of it where I think, Ronaldo kicking off about someone not doing a tactical foul. That's what you need him to be doing as well, because he's played on the frigging continent now. He understands what you need to. Real Madrid were serial winners when he was there, and all they did was take you out.
Yeah.
Like the fact that no one took Damari Gray out at that point on the sidelines before Andros Townsend actually scored a goal, before the ball goes to Decore, and Ronaldo was kicking off about that because he's like, side him, just take him out the game, and that's what boss teams do. So Ronaldo knows how to do it as well, and he will be teaching those lads.
He's going to end up as player manager at Man United. I'm calling it. He just will.
I fucking hope so.
But and at least that way he gets to decide when he doesn't play. No, but like
then he puts himself out for the big games.
No, but
so he can get 6 goals against fucking everybody else.
But it's funny because we've got Kenny behind us on the wall there, and it did make me think a little of that. Like, your best player who's obviously is aged out of the squad, but he's still phenomenal. But he has that aura, that vibe, and clearly they all care more about his opinion than anyone else, than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's like, great, just great.
I reckon Ole Gunnar Solskjaer booked fucking Friday off work and sent his assistant manager to tell Ronaldo that he wasn't playing.
Yeah. We asked.
I'm having the morning off. Can you go and tell Ronaldo that he's not working, please, tomorrow?
It's just brilliant. It's just brilliant, and yeah, good. To your question though, I think us at Old Trafford is that point, because if Liverpool go and do them with a full stadium, because that's the thing about it. It gets forgotten about a little bit, that they haven't been playing football that Man United fans want to see under Solskjaer. They haven't. They've had some highlight moments, like the PSG in the Champions League, the comeback there being an outstanding one and what have you. But their footy is not what they expect. They want dominance. They want to go and take the game and own the ball and batter teams when he plays counter-attacking football. They're in that bracket of teams that finish fourth. But they've got, because of the circumstance, I think that it's played into their hands. Having some really good players was the key to victory last year when you've got no fans in the stadium, because good players intimidate players on the pitch more when you've got no audience. But you can turn the Old Trafford crowd now, and if they're getting disgruntled, then that could be a very
and our travelling cop will be fucking bang up for it.
We owe them big time at that
Don't
ground.
we just?
Right,
Don't
Sam. Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us for the podcast. That was great. Welcome. Thank you so much for our weekly. Isn't it funny to have a little laugh at Manchester United updates on the podcast? Great. Are we better? Yeah, absolutely. Bitter. Had our teenager, our formative years absolutely taken over by them pricks. So I am thoroughly going to enjoy every moment.
For it.
Not apologetic.
Not.
And vice versa, by the way. And I have it, I do. I enjoy seeing the misfortune of our rivals. And again, that was a situation where Everton didn't win, United didn't win. Everton not being crap makes the city a little bit more livable in, and United falling off but not in such a shocking way that they have to sack the manager yet. Perfection. Pity we didn't win, but all told, it wasn't a bad weekend. Yes, plenty more to come from us, streaming exclusively on the redmentv.com. We got Around the League show from yesterday. We got the Final Word show as well. We got JNO Insight Extra coming with me and Neil Jones later in the week. And don't forget, of course, the In Conversation with John Achterberg is going out this weekend as well. So if you want some incredible insight into the inner circle of Klopp's coaching team, then do get involved with all that. It is fantastic stuff. And again, if you want to revisit the game from the weekend, the match day experience, got a wonderful little suite of content for you guys there. And also do go and get your Redmen and Threads to Reds Christmas jumpers. They're on pre-order, so very, very limited time window. It's only a couple of weeks, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, we've got until the 17th at midnight, so Sunday the 17th I think it is when the pre-order ends. Then they're going to manufacturer, shipping probably first week in November, and We've managed to sort it now. This is really boring stuff, but if you live in Europe and around the world, like, we've got over the Brexit sort of problems and stuff like that, so there's not going to be any sort of people in the past sort of year, I suppose, since January the 1st actually, have been getting these like surprise little customs bills. We've gotten through that now. We've got green channel clearance on all the postage and stuff like that, so our shipping is kind of back to normal now. If you're in Ireland, for example, it's 6 days from when it's shipped, none of this 6-week stuff. We've got past the Brexit problem, so do order it. It's one run of manufacture, so you won't be able to get this jumper ever again.
It's not going to be on the rack. It's not print to order in the way that all of our other stuff is. So yeah, if you want one, get one pre-ordered right now. James, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
You wonderful man. Chris, you're a wonderful man as well. Thanks, and you're a wonderful people at home. Have a great afternoon, mostly. We'll see you all very soon. Ta-ra. Thanks so much for checking out the show this week. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, then do. But if you want more from us, extra Redmen shows, then go to the redmentv.com. You can support the channel at 2 levels, by Club Captain or Club Legend tier. Both get you a full suite of Liverpool-related content, extra Redmen shows, documentaries, features, and world-exclusive interviews. And Club Legends get their names here and on the end of those videos, and free merchandise as well. Perfect time to sign up on the redmentv.com.